Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Clark.
I'm Kim Christensen. A wildfire burning north of Buena Vista has now destroyed 2 homes. The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office says the so-called Mountain View fire has burned roughly 60 acres. They say people living in 50 homes are on the evacuation zone. They're telling people who've left to go to the Buena Vista Sheriff's Office. It's not clear just yet what started that fire. There are no reports of any injuries.
Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park is closed tonight as wildfires burn on the north and south rims of that canyon. The park says lightning sparked those 2 fires this morning. All the visitors and staff were evacuated today. Access to that park from Highway 50 between Gunnison and Montrose is closed while firefighters work on those fires. Let's turn to 9 News meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen now for a look at the weather conditions that will impact those firefights.
Yeah, you know, we have more dry lightning tomorrow, and that is problematic, likely starting most of the fires that we're seeing out there. And it's no coincidence that we had 2 days of dry lightning and we've got some big fires burning. Let me show you where those fires are out on the western slope here. The South Rim fire is the bigger of those fires in the Black Canyon near Montrose. A large wildfire in Mesa County, they're calling the Sow Belly fire, a very large wildfire in the LaSalle Mountains just across on the Utah side there, putting out a lot of heat tonight, and also a small fire here just to the south of Grand Junction. There are also fire starts on the Grand Mesa. The fire out in the Chaffee County area in Buny, they are not seeing any heat or a lot of smoke from that tonight. That's a good thing. But if you look from satellite, you can actually see the heat from outer space. A filter put on here by Colorado State University. You can see the South Rim fire, the fire out here, the Sow Belly fire, and also the one out in the LaSalle Mountains. When you can see the heat from those fires from 22,000 miles above the earth, you know those are big. So those are going to stick around for several days. Here's the weekend forecast in Denver. We'll have some severe to strong storms to deal with here in our area. Likely a severe thunderstorm watch coming tomorrow. And then we'll settle things down a little bit on Saturday, but the high heat's coming back in here by Sunday. I'll have more information on all that stuff coming up in the full forecast, which is in just a few minutes.
A paddleboater who got stuck in a squall on Horsetooth Reservoir is alive thanks to the quick work of first responders. Poudre Fire says the woman fell off her board just after about 11:15 this morning. They say strong wind pushed her board beyond her reach and she wasn't wearing a life jacket. They say she was at least 100 yards from shore and actively drowning when a ranger pulled her from the water. According to Poudre Fire, she was cold and exhausted, but safely taken to shore.
A Wheat Ridge police officer shot and killed someone today. Police say that person had a gun.
It happened at West 32nd in Youngfield, underneath I-70. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj takes us there.
Well, traffic is moving again, but it ground to a halt around 2:15 p.m. The intersection was blocked off after a Wheat Ridge police officer shot and killed someone here. Now, police have released very few details tonight, but here's what we know. It happened this afternoon. The officer was on patrol when they spotted a person with a felony warrant on a motorcycle. Now, they came up behind that person and they got off the motorcycle and ran under the I-70 overpass. Now, we don't know what led up to the shooting. Police only saying that there was a struggle and the officer shot and killed the person they were trying to arrest. Now, the officer was not hurt. Police say they also found a gun on the person. It's not clear whether that person actually pulled out the gun or tried to use it.
There are 2 different investigations happening, right? There's the investigation into, this suspect and the felony warrant that is being handled by the Wheat Ridge Police Department. But then there's an investigation into the officer involved shooting itself.
I remember looking out the window and seeing the guy ride, and the weather was changing. And I thought, well, that sucks to be on a bike without a helmet or whatever. And I put my head back down, started back on my laptop, and next thing I know, I hear sirens.
Now, the intersection here was shut down for around 4 hours. It reopened just after 6 o'clock. In Wheat Ridge, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
Federal prosecutors are still trying to decide whether to charge the man accused of firebombing demonstrators in Boulder with murder. That could bring the possibility of the death penalty. Investigators say Mohammed Soleim admitted to throwing Molotov cocktails at people, raising awareness about Israeli hostages held in Gaza on June 1st. They added that murder charge to the dozens of others that he faces after 82-year-old Karen Diamond died from her injuries weeks later. In federal court this morning, the judge set a trial date for early September, but said making a schedule was somewhat useless until the U.S. Attorney's Office decides if they will add a murder charge. Jury selection is now underway in the trial of a dentist from Aurora accused of poisoning his wife's protein shakes. The trial for James Craig started today. He was arrested in 2023 for the death of his wife, Angela. An autopsy showed she ingested lethal doses of cyanide and an ingredient in Visine. Craig is also charged with trying to solicit the murder of a witness in the case against him. He faces life in prison if a jury convicts him. The trial is set to last about 3 weeks.
The town of Nederland is one step closer to being the first municipality in Colorado to buy a major ski resort in decades. 9 News reporter Reja is in Nederland, where tonight they held a town hall to answer questions about that sale.
Officials here didn't say anything new. They were here to listen. And what I heard from community members was a genuine interest in what a community-owned ski resort could look like. Because if you think about it, this is a move that could redefine the economic future here in this little tiny mountain town. The off-season at Eldora Ski Resort is usually quiet.
Routine maintenance projects, updates.
But this summer, Sam Bass, the marketing director of the mountain, says there's a buzz behind the maintenance.
The town signed the letter to purchase Eldora. You get news like this, and you're thinking about it all the time and thinking how it's going to unfold.
On Thursday, the town of Nederland held a town hall.
Whenever there's new things, people should ask questions, so that's why I'm here. I want to know the details.
Where people living in the town tried to wrap their heads around the mountain purchase.
I was very skeptical when I heard about it. I'm not against it per se, I'm just very skeptical.
While many longtime skiers and business owners are celebrating,
I just want to say congratulations.
I'm going to say I'm stoked.
The purchase price hasn't been revealed yet, and others need to know more.
Lots of questions, lots of questions, lots of questions.
So where's that money from the budget going to come from?
Town leaders say the deal will be funded by municipal revenue bonds, essentially loans paid back through the resort's earnings, so no new taxes.
I'm cautiously optimistic that it is all going to work out, but what happens if it doesn't?
That's the question. If it doesn't,
we're the same Eldora, and we'll still be here no matter what.
Off-season work isn't going to do itself.
We have a mountain to get ready to open in November, and so that's what we're doing.
So all those questions are supposed to be answered before the end of the season, and I know that people here are eager to hear them because cautious optimism was a phrase we heard over and over again by community members, kind of just showing that mix of hope and concern about this move. Reporting in Nederland, Reja, 9 News.
New tonight, for the second time in 4 years, voters in Fort Collins will decide the future of the old Hughes Stadium site. An initiative just received enough signatures to make it to the November ballot. It asks voters to decide if the old CSU football stadium land should be used solely as a natural area. Nearly 69% of voters decided in 2021 to require the city to buy the site and zone it as a public open lands. This new ballot initiative is meant to conserve the land, narrowing its use for low-impact recreation like hiking, biking, and fishing. Two groups are behind this effort: the Planning Action to Transform Hughes Sustainably and the Friends of the Hughes Stadium Campaign Committee. The first of the two was behind that initiative in 2021, that ballot as well.
The city of Denver is about to go to voters to ask for approval for a $900 million bond package. And some on city council are baffled by the individual projects being included. The city wants to put this bond package on the ballot in November. It would put $800 to $900 million towards projects while not raising property taxes. Yesterday, city council got its first look at the details, and it did not go well. District 11 Councilmember Stacey Gilmore represents parts of Montbello and Green Valley Ranch. In April, she and her constituents put together a list of things in their part of the community that they would like. Improvements for the rec center was not on the list. Still, that was the only project in her district to make it into the city's bond package.
Why aren't we listening to the people? We asked them what projects they wanted, and then we don't see them on the list.
Mayor's office says that they're reviewing the recommendations to submit another package to City Council next week, fine-tuning it to include high-priority projects.
At least 120 lives have been lost across 6 counties to the historic flash flooding in central Texas over the 4th of July holiday. 173 people remain missing nearly a week later as the hope of locating survivors has dwindled. Search and rescue operations along the Guadalupe River have now shifted to a recovery phase. A number of summer camps operate along that river, and they were hard hit by the floodwaters.
2 of the camps evacuated during that flooding hold a special place in the hearts of a family in Inglewood.
And 9 News photojournalist Amy Hunter shares how they're helping from over 800 miles away.
Come on in, guys, come get some cookies.
We're selling Tweety cookies, which is an important part of Mystic, so we can help raise money for help with the floods.
I'm from Texas, and I'm a former Camp Mystic counselor, camper, and now parent. My kids both have gone to Camp Mystic and Camp La Junta.
It was like a really overall fun experience. I want to go back so badly. Summer's been kind of boring without being at camp. It's really special, and I'm glad we can do this so we can try to help.
Because when you go to camp, you're sending your children away to a place that loves them, and that's all they wanted to do is give us love. And the floods were just a horrible, tragic experience for everybody, and we just hope that everyone continues to be kind one to another.
It's just made me feel good that people care about donating to camps and stuff from the flood.
It's heart-wrenching not to be there and be able to help with my friends and family.
I hope they know how much we love camps and that we really want to help.
Camp Mystic's motto is be kind one to another, and so my hope is that we can all share kindness.
The cookies are a secret recipe from the camp's director. The family says they were able to raise $10,000 through donations made over the last 2 days. You can help those devastated by the floods in Texas. Our parent company, Tegna, has created a way for everyone to give. Scan the QR code on the screen to donate right now. We also have information on how to donate on 9news.com.